Okay, on my site, I registered the apology for MMC Mashangwane, Councillor Jubet, and members of EFF councillors. Next item, Secretariat.
The next item is item 3, proposals of condolences or congratulations by the Speaker.
Thank you, Secretariat. As Polokwane Municipality, we are saddened by the killing of the municipality, Councillor Moses, the Maleka. Death has robbed the people of Collins Municipality of a mayor who was committed to improving the lives of the people in the municipality. We take this opportunity to extend our deepest and heartfelt condolences to the friends, family of Councillor Maluleka and the people of Collins Chavani Municipality. At the same tone, we wish his son a speedy recovery and will call upon law enforcement agencies to leave no stone unturned and ensure that the perpetrators are apprehended. I also note with sadness the passing of Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Comrade Jessie Duarte. She was a fearless activist who devoted her in fighting for constitutional democracy, non-racialism, non-sexism, and peace in South Africa. We extend our deepest condolences to the friends and family of Comrade Jessie Duarte, the African National Congress, and the people of South Africa at large. I take this opportunity to send congratulatory messages to the newly crowned WAFCON champions Banyana Banyana following their historic 2-1 win over host Morocco in the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations final in Rabat on Saturday. We are proud of Banyana Banyana for their sterling performance, and we congratulate the head coach, Desiree Ellis, her coach team, and the players on a magnificent campaign and successes. Next item, Secretariat.
Item 4, Madam Speaker, proposals of condolences or congratulations by other members.
It seems there is no hands. Next item.
Item 5, official announcement.
None. Next item.
Item 6, confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. We have 4 sets of minutes. We recommend that the minutes of an ordinary council meeting held on the 26th May 2022, a special council meeting that was held on the 23 June 2022, and on the 12th July 2022, also for 24 June 2022, be approved.
Thank you, Secretariat. We are having 4 sets of minutes. The first one, ordinary minutes of the 26th May 2022. I'm going to read page by page. Then we'll raise your hand if there's an error. Page 1. Page 2 and 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18, page 19, page 20, page 21, page 22, page 23, page 24, page 25, page 26, page 27, page 28, page 29, page 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34 attended register. Can I see by the show of hands, Councillor, who adopt the minutes? I see the hand of Councillor Nomonde.
Thank you very much, Speaker of Council, and greetings to the meeting. Speaker, I stand to second the adoption of the minutes as the true reflection of what happened. Thank you very much.
Councillor Shibabu was moving the minutes, the adoption of the minutes. Honorable Councillor Maimela Mudiba.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker. I second Councillor Shibabu on the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mudiba. The minutes are adopted. We are now on other set of minutes dated 23 June 2022. I'm also going to read page by page. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Councillor Shadu, may you lower your hands, please? Page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I attended register. Anyone to the adoption of the minute? To the adoption of the minute?
Speaker, my name is
Speaker, afternoon to Representative Mena. Yes, the Speaker, opposition, in particular, representative and hereby move for the adoption of the minutes I presented. Thanks very much.
Any seconder? Honorable Councillor Shibabu.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the motion by the Chief Whip. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Shibabu. We are now on a set of minutes, special minutes 24, dated 24 June 2022. Also, I'm going to read page by page. Page 1, 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 10, page 11. I see the hand of Honorable Councillor Kala.
Comrades, Speaker, Speaker, you are breaking up. We cannot hear you clearly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Councillor Kala. Noted. I see the hand of MMC Mamabulo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think we are on page 10.
Yes.
There is a correction I would like to make there. On the second paragraph on page 10, Metro Partner is the heading.
Yes.
The word was saying it is only through collecting approach. Then it should be corrected to say it is only through collective approach. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MMC. Noted. Page 11 up to page 48. The pitch is the speech of the executive mayor. Page 49. Page 50. Page 51. Page 52. Page 53. Page 54. The attended register. Can I see the hand that adopt the minutes, the set of minutes? See the hand of Honorable Councillor Mkhutwa. Honorable Councillor Mkhutwa. Honorable MMC Mashalani.
Am I audible? Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, you are.
Greetings to all. I move for the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, MMC Mashalani. Any seconder? I see the hand of Councillor Poshoko Mapula.
Thanks. Madam Speaker, greetings to you, the Executive Mayor, and the entire Council. I would like to second the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. The minutes is adopted. We are now on that special minutes dated 12 July 2022. I'm going to read page by page. Honorable Councillors, may you lower your hands. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Honorable Councillors, please lower your hands. Page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, and page 16 to 22, not 22. Page 16 to page 43 is the speeches from political parties. Any councillor to move for the adoption of the minutes? Honorable Councillor Mokutwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good afternoon to you, the Executive Mayor, Chief Whip, and Honorable Councillors. I move for adoption of this minutes as a true reflection of what transpired on the subject.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mokutwa. MMC Khare.
Honorable Speaker, thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Speaker, Chief Whip, I would like to support that the said minutes be adopted as per the discussions of the previous council. Thank you.
Thank you, MMC Khare. The minutes are adopted. Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, once more we are on item number 7, notice of questions and relevant answers.
Okay. Different written questions have been received by the Office of the Speaker, and I have sent the questions to the Office of the Acting Municipal Manager for responses by relevant departments. Some questions have to be tabled before council. We still await the responses from relevant directors. Thank you, Secretariat. Next item.
Item number 8, motions deferred.
None. Next item.
Item 9, petitions.
None. Next item.
Next item, Madam Speaker, is item 10, notice of motions and relevant answers.
Office of the Speaker received a notice of motion which was submitted by Councillor Marx in his capacity as a ward councillor for Ward 39. The motion is in relation to the repositioning of the Bikat statue. Councillor Marx will be given an opportunity to present the motion in the next ordinary council. Therefore, the motion is deferred to the next ordinary council. Thank you, Secretariat. Next item.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 11, report of the Executive Mayor, Section A items, recommendations of Mayoral Committee for Council Resolution. We are on volume 1. Item number 1.
Secretariat.
Madam Speaker.
Before that, Honorable Councillors, in terms of Rule 6.5.2 of the Rules of Order governing municipal council and council committees, the Speaker may, of own violation, change the order of the business appearing on the agenda. Honorable Councillors, I hereby move for a request to be granted for the Chairperson of Audit and Performance Audit Committee, APEC, Mr. S. Ngubeni, appointed in terms of Chapter 14, Section 166 of the MFMA Act number 56, 2003, to be the first to present agenda item 31, volume 9, as per the requirement of Section 6.10.1 of the approved APEC Charter, to report on quarterly activities of the Audit Committee. So I'm now going to invite APEC Chairperson, Mr. Ngubeni, to report on progress report of quarterly fourth quarter to present. Mr. Ngubeni. Mr. Ngubeni.
Honorable Speaker, apologies for that. For the first time, I used this platform, and apologies for the delay. And I want to start by acknowledging and greeting your good self as the Chair of Council, Honorable Speaker. And allow me to also acknowledge the Honorable Executive Mayor, together with the Mayoral Committee, the Whip of Council, the MPEC Chairperson, and all the councillors in the room today, and those in abstention. Honorable Speaker, I've got two reports to present on behalf of the Audit and Performance Committee. The first report will be for noting, Honorable Speaker, and the second report will be for adoption by Council. Honorable Speaker, the item that I will be speaking to, it's in the pack, it's page 1294. All the way to the end. So let me start with the fourth quarter report, Honorable Speaker. The purpose of the report, it's in line with Section 166. As we all know, that Audit and Performance Committee is a subcommittee of Council. In terms of the meeting itself, Honorable Speaker, the meeting was held on the 8th of July, and the attendance was 100% from management and 100% from the APEC members. Chair, the items for attention of Council for noting, the first item is the internal audit report on the performance report.
that's already been adopted by Council is the third quarter report, Chair. Internal audit presented the outcome of the audit, and they then confirmed that the controls that were tested were 6. 1 was found to be effective, and 5 were found to be not effective. Out of the 10 findings, they were all repeat, Honorable Speaker, and the recommendation is that all these findings should be resolved for the fourth quarter report, Chair. In terms of the SDBIP reports that has already been signed by the Honorable Executive Mayor, we gave our inputs, and management were urged to attend to all our inputs on or before the report has been on or before the 28th of June, before the report signed off by the Executive Mayor, and we're given an assurance that that has been done. We moved on, Honorable Speaker, to consider the implementation of the audit plan. As we know that the audit committee, the Audit and Performance Committee, approves the internal audit plan, and the internal auditors, they are on track in implementing the audit plan, and management were urged to resolve all the findings raised by internal audit before the end of August. We also looked at the AG action plan, Honorable Speaker. The progress was not very impressive, and the same resolution. In terms of the implementation rate, we were sitting at 2 out of the 23 were resolved that affect the audit report, and the 12 are in progress. And the expectation from management is that all these findings should be resolved before we submit the financial statements at the end of August. Chair, if I were to go to the AFS process plan, what's expected here, Chair, is for us to be ready to submit credible financial statements and the performance report come the end of August. We looked at that, and the progress made thus far, it's quite impressive. And we will be playing our role in reviewing or the financial statements, and we have introduced the model of a technical committee to assist APEC in this regard. We also looked at the cash flow implementation strategy that has been noted by the committee. There were no issues, Chair. I think the bigger issue, which is a concern to the committee, including myself, is the progress that we're making towards resolution of the unauthorized, irregular, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure in risk management currently. Chair.
Yep.
Can you hear me, Chair?
Proceed.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so very much. I think I'm almost at the end, Honorable Speaker. The risk management is currently busy with the UIFW investigations, and it should be serving before NPAC.
Proceed, Chairperson.
All right, thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. I was on UIFW where risk management is currently processed.
Chairperson.
Can you hear me, Honorable Speaker?
It seems we are losing Chairperson.
We can hear the Chairperson.
Am I audible, Honorable Councillors? Am I audible, Honorable Councillors?
Yes,
you are, and the chairperson is also
Yes, you are.
The person is loud and clear.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, let me continue. I think we might be having some technical challenges on your side. Honorable Councillors are saying they can hear me. I was on UIFW, Honorable Speaker. Risk management at the time, we were busy with the investigations, and the expectation is that MPAC should be processing the investigation reports the earlier in August, and will be assisting MPEC in that regard, Honorable Speaker. On 4.9 is the issue of the action plan that relates to PHA, which is currently being processed. It was not submitted for that meeting, and it was subsequently processed in the following meeting. We considered the Q3 finance report, Chair. The concern still remains. The debt collection rate remains very high, and the overtime remain a concern for APEC, Honorable Speaker. But we are concurring that with the Q3 report being noted by Council in the previous Council meeting. We also processed the ICT governance report. With regard to the IC governance report, there were issues of the AG findings, which were sitting at 73%. And our expectation is that all these should be resolved before we submit financial statements. Under legal and compliance, we all have noted the litigation report. These are the cases that are currently being managed by the municipality. As we all know that it is a litigant country, South Africa, and there are claims against the municipality, and we expect management to brief us every quarter, Chair. That's on section 112. Chair, we also approved ex post facto. We also approved the risk management reports. What are these risk management reports? It's the implementation plan for 22-23 together with strategic risk register. We also adopted the implementation plan for 21-22 and the risk management implementation plan for 22-23 was also adopted in that meeting. We also take a note of the risk management committee report, and there were no issues to flag or highlight to Council, but would like Council to be assured that the risk assessment report is currently being implemented for 22-23 as we are in July, Chair. That's a report for noting, Chair. Allow me to just quickly close on the last report that is here for adoption by Council. As we all know, the APEC must be assessed every quarter by Council and management, and also assessing itself. The checklist or the performance assessment tool was circulated, and we are really indebted to your good self and the relevant stakeholders to have completed this assessment. It is my predecessor's assessment, by the way, Chair. And if we look at the last page of this report, which is page 201, and on top should be 1307. The assessment reflects that the audit, there is happiness insofar as APEC's performance. The scales goes from 1 to 5, and the overall score is currently at 5, which is an improvement from last year of 4. And I hope to carry forward this performance, Chair. And it is, I'll be failing on my part, Chair, because this is my inaugural report to present before Council, to acknowledge and appreciate the trust bestowed to myself by Council to lead this team of APEC in pursuit, Honorable Executive Mayor, in pursuit of clean audit. We'll do our part, and management just need to do their part, and the auditors will then express their opinion. With that, Honorable Speaker, these two reports. The first report on the Q4 is here for noting. The second report, which is the performance assessment of a committee of Council, it's sitting at 5. It's here for adoption. The methodology adopted for the performance assessment is the one that is regulated and informed by the Treasury performance assessment of a subcommittee like ours. Allow me to thank you for the opportunity and pause right here, Honorable Speaker, and wait for your guidance going forward. But the two items, one for noting and the other one for adoption. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson, for the presentation. And I see the hand of Honorable Councillor Buota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, this is a comment from the Democratic Alliance side. Madam Speaker, according to our corporate calendar, this meeting should have taken place on the 28th of July. Currently, the documents were not available in time. Written questions are still outstanding. And at the end of the day, Council is not complying with legislation when it comes to documents and Council meetings. Ma'am, please, I do understand that this will be our last virtual meeting. I do appreciate that. Lastly, please, we as Polokwane Council, last time that it happens, we cannot start getting into a precedence where this is at the order of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Buota. Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I hope I'm audible to Honorable Councillors. Speaker, let me first appreciate the comments by Councillor Botha, but to indicate that we are now in the middle of the agenda items, and the meeting has already started. We have confirmed quorum, but safe to say to address issues that we have met as leaders of various political parties represented in council, and we have agreed that there were challenges in the corporate calendar, as she's saying, that led to the meeting having to be organized in this particular way. So from the leadership of various political parties, we have agreed in principle to continue with compliance items and urgent reports to this council, with the view that we'll receive a predicament in the future, and with the view that physically, I hope this answers her Alliance, Honorable Speaker. It was part of our engagements with leaders of various political organizations, where we have acknowledged, Speaker, that much level will be clarified, where the answers are ready will be tabled in council. I think we've agreed in principle on the agenda of this council and also on which items to deal with. I just wanted to bring this to the attention of Councillor Botha through yourself, Honorable Speaker, that why we are proceeding in a way that we are proceeding. Thanks very much.
Madam Speaker, on a point of order.
What is the point of order?
The point of order
What
is
is the point of order?
that there's no precedence that please, this is the last time, and that is what I was asking. I wasn't asking for an explanation. I did attend the multi-party weaponry meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted, Councillor, Honorable Councillor Buota. I see the hand of Councillor Lube. Councillor Max will follow. Councillor Lube. Councillor Max.
Madam Speaker, can you hear me?
Yes, Councillor Max.
No, it's Councillor Lubbe speaking.
Okay, Councillor Lube.
Okay, Madam Speaker, yes, I just want to bring to the attention of the council on this item. You see, in terms of section 52 of the MFMA, the mayor of the municipality must, within 30 days of each quarter, bring a report to council on the implementation of the budget and financial status of the affairs of the municipality. The third court institution performance was supposed to serve in council at the end of April, but it only served in May. Again on this report as well. My question is, why is it late? Because it can't be late. If it's late, what is MPAC going to do about it? Because I'm telling you, the AG is going to pick this up. We want to have a clean audit this year, but clearly, every time this report comes late, then we're not complying to legislation. What is MPAC and the council going to do about it? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Lube. Councillor Max.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to apologize for being late at this meeting. I had an urgent matter to attend to. I trust that you will accept my apology. Thank you.
Apology accepted. Councillor Max.
Speaker, my hand has been raised.
Thank you, Honorable Councillors. Report will be referred to MPAC for MPAC to come with recommendation. Thank you. Honorable Councillor Mukamedi.
Am I audible? Honorable Speaker? Am I audible, colleagues?
Honorable Councillor Mukamedi.
Am I audible? You see now, we cannot speak. We are not audible. I cannot even speak.
You are audible, comrade.
We can hear you.
Yeah, but
We can hear
MMC.
you, Honorable Mohamed.
But it must be through the speaker, leadership.
You may proceed to MMC.
All right. Speaker, you are not audible. You are breaking all the way. You cannot even hear. The only time that we hear you is when you are ruling, and not on all the issues, speakers. Can you be audible? But hence you are saying that this report must be referred back to MPAC. I was to raise some issues, but I'm withdrawing on that.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mukamedi. Honorable Councillors, can we note the first presentation of Chairperson APEC?
Yes, my hand has been raised.
Councillor Mpilo, Honorable Councillor Mpilo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the fellow councillors and our EM and Madam Speaker and the Chief Whip. I just want to apologize because I had a network issue for being late. I'm here. That's what I wanted to
Thank you, Honorable Councillor. Can I see the hand that note the presentation of Chairperson of APEC? I see the hand of Chief Whip.
Yes, once again, thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. And in view with what was raised by Councillor Lebe, I move that we note the first presentation from the Chairperson APEC and approve the second presentation with a recommendation that it will be referred to MPAC for further scrutiny, and MPAC will come with recommendations. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Whip. The report noted. Can I see the hands that adopt the other presentation of Chairperson APEC?
My hand is up, Speaker.
MMC Mtlogeleng Mukamedi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In line with what Chief Whip have said for the adoption, and the second one, I mean for the noting. And maybe, Speaker, we need to appreciate in terms of what the EPEC chairperson Tate Ngobeni has picked up, especially on the first report for noting. I guess it will assist the EPEC. And on the second one for adoption, I just want to align myself in terms of adopting it, and it must go to EPEC for scrutiny and checking what is happening. Thank you so much.
Next item, Secretariat. Can you please, councillors, lower your hands? Councillor Max.
Madam Speaker, we were on item 11, section A items, volume 1, item number 1.
Secretariat.
Speaker.
Before that, there are items that must be referred back.
Okay.
On volume 1, item 2 must be referred back. Volume 2, item 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9. Volume 3, item 10 and 11. Volume 5, volume 6, volume 7. Volume 8, item 25. Volume 9, item 27. On addendum, item 32. These items must be referred back. You may read the next item, Secretary.
Speaker, can we repeat? Madam Speaker, can we verify? Can you please repeat, then we verify the items that we are referring back?
Okay. Thank you, Secretariat. On volume 1, item 2. Volume 2, item 3, item 4, item 7, item 8, item 9. Volume 3, item 10 and item 11. Volume 4, item 14 and item 16. Volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, item on volume 6 and volume 7. All items to be referred back. Volume 8, item 25, volume 9, item 27. On addendum, item 32.
Noted, Madam Speaker. Thanks so much.
This is the result of discussion with various political leaders to refer this item back. Secretariat, you may read the next item.
Thank you once more, Madam Speaker. As we are on volume 1, item 1, financial report for the period ended 30th June 2022, section 52. It's on page 1.
I'm appealing to Councillor Max, Councillor Ngwasheng, Chairperson of MPEC, to lower their hands, please.
My hand is lowered, Peter. On my side, it's lowered.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Councillor Max. Secretariat, next item.
Madam Speaker, we move to volume 2, item 5, submission of 2022/2023 IDP and budget review process report, process plan. It's on page 141.
Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, We are on item 6, report on risk, danger, allowance policy on page 184.
Next item.
Madam Speaker, we are moving to volume 3, item 12. Report to request council's approval for exception of the levying customer for service charge as a result of change in tariff change and write-off of differences. Page 466.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 13, bids awarded for the 2021-2022 financial year, page 472.
Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we are on volume 4, item 15, deviation and rectification of minor breaches of procurement process. It's on page 557.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Councillor Botha.
my apology, but Councillor Mark's hand was up for item 12, but Madam Speaker, you didn't see his hand and he tried to mute, but his speaker is, so he's not able to unmute on his side.
Okay. No, there's no problem. Honorable Councillor Marx, we can go back to item 12. Councillor Marx can come in.
Thank you for your indulgence, Honourable Speaker. Speaker, the issue that I have on the item is that I don't think it's legally allowed to now change a rate after the fact without any public participation. And I'm curious that there's no proper legal opinion on this topic. I'm not sure if the or the mayor can maybe elaborate as to the legalities of this this issue, but how can it be done after the fact? Is it in line with the MFMA? Is it in line with the rates policy? Is it in line with the public participation procedures? My own opinion is I don't think it's legal. Maybe we should get a legal opinion on this. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Marx. Councillor Chief Whip.
Yes, thanks once again, Honorable Speaker. I believe that councillors should be aware that when we did public participation, it was in line with when we planned our rates, it was in line with what AG has recommended. So the approved tariffs were in line with what the report seeks to propose. But at the same time, you'll remember that when reconciling these rates, there will be differences in the customer accounts. So administration here is only requesting the write-off of those particular differences. So there is no change in terms of the tariff policy. We are just being requested to approve the write-offs that comes as a result of the recalculation based on what we have approved in terms of the tariff policy for this particular financial year. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Councillor Marx, are you covered?
No, Speaker. I do not agree with the Chief Whip. I don't want to make an issue because it must be backdated to 1 July 2019 and discounted, etc. Can you please note that the DA abstained from voting on this item and just minute our names in that regard? Thank you.
Noted, Honorable Councillor Marx. The report is adopted. Secretariat, with the next item.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We were on in volume 4, moving to item 17. Interim tariff in respect of silicon smelters
Madam Speaker.
R227.
Honorable Councillor Botha.
My apology, but when I stopped, because of this whole issue, item 12, it's too quick that we are going through this document, because we have a lot of information on
Honorable
item
Councillor
13.
Botha. We are on.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
We are on
Item
item
13.
Item 15.
13.
113.
Yes, that's awarded for the 2021-22 financial year.
Okay, proceed.
Madam Speaker, at this point of time, I'm going to ask if we can please recuse Councillor Marx, as he was the attorney in one of the suppliers. If we can just ask him if he can recuse himself for about 5 minutes before I continue.
With the leave of the chair, I'll
Honourable
then
Councillor
just
Marx,
recuse
can you
myself for this item. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Specifically on page 486, number 49 is for Zach's business enterprise. And now, this tender was awarded on the 29th of April. But on the 20th of April, this supplier was liquidated, and I have the High Court order in front of me. It's case number 4949-2021. Madam Speaker, what is very concerning is the fact that this supplier was already provisionally liquidated already a year ago. How is it possible that we can award tenders in such instances? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Botha. Chief Whip.
Thanks very much once again, Honorable Speaker. And let me appreciate the information from Councillor Botha, which will be helpful for future references. But perhaps just to remind Council that the purpose of this report is just to inform councillors on the bids that were awarded in the previous financial year. You will recall that these items come to council quarterly. So this is just a repeat of what we've been getting in the previous financial year quarterly. So just for council to note that we have appointed this particular service providers, and it is Councillor Botha's, it is within her rights that when she has got a question or a motion in relation to one of our service providers that we have appointed, she may do so based on council rules. But this, I'm proposing that because we have been receiving this report quarterly, this is a repetition of what we have been receiving, but it only came here as an annual report that we note that we have appointed the service providers in the previous financial year, and any other outstanding issues may come in the form of questions or motions. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker.
Councillor Marx can come back to the meeting. Secretariat.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Shouting.
Madam Speaker, is Councillor Pretorius.
Councillor Pretorius.
Sorry, I also wanted to say something about one of the bids On page 476, you were just very quick and I couldn't get your attention. Can I continue?
Which page?
476.
Yes, you may proceed.
Bid number PM 149 and bid number PM 155. On the contract amount, it just says applicable rates 35%, and for number 2, applicable rates 40%, but there are no amounts indicated. Can I have clarity on this? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Pretorius. Chief Whip.
Yes, once again, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Maybe just to remind Councillor Pretorius that the nature of the work for this particular bids, bid 149 and bid 155, both of 2019, the works are measurable. It is not like when you are purchasing a particular good, where you can say this good is valued at, for example, furniture, valued at 100,000 rands. For this one, the works are measurable. When they are saying at 35%, for you to come and fix a pothole, they must come and measure, and they pay based on the work done after measuring. That is why there is no price there. They just tell us the rate. But I want to agree with you to say perhaps in the future, because these are the reports from the previous financial year. Perhaps if administration in the future can be proactive and calculate all the invoices that we've been able to pay, instead of saying applicable rates, they just put the amount that we have paid, because there was no bid amount. You cannot have a bid amount because you will not know where are we going to have a pothole of what size. So perhaps they can calculate the invoices, I mean, in the future, and put the amount there, because these are for the previous financial year. I think that can be done in the future. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker.
Noted, Chief Whip. Honorable Councillors, I'm struggling with my gadget. For now, I'm using Chief Whip's gadget. Secretariat, next item.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 15 on volume 4, deviations and rectification of minor breaches of procurement process, page 557.
Honorable Councillor Pretorius, is the old hand or new one?
It's an old hand, and I did lower it here on my side.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Councillor Pretorius. Secretariat, next item. No.
Madam Speaker, my hand is raised.
I see the hand of Councillor Water.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Specifically on deviations, page 561, the radio ad. Madam Speaker, this is for clarity. What is impractical about the process, and why is it not planned for? If we can get some information there. Thank you.
I see the hand of Councillor Chidi.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. With regard to the deviations and rectification on page 561, which is 74 on the soft copy, the deviation of 193,975 and 39 cents, the radio advertisements. I just want to understand what made it impractical to go on tender or to follow the supply chain management processes. What prohibited the municipality to actually plan for this particular item? Because my understanding is that on an annual basis, we know that during a specific time, there are radio advertisements to advertise either IDP or and so forth. Again, with the deviation on 83,401 and 80 cents, the question of impracticability still stands.
Honorable Councillor Chidi.
So I wanted to ask
Honorable
if
Councillor Chidi.
perhaps we can refer these two deviation items to MPEC for further scrutiny so that MPEC can do a study as to whether indeed it was impractical for the institution to follow the supply chain management regulations on these two items. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chidi. I see the hand of Councillor Chief Whip.
Oh, okay. No, thanks very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity once again. Firstly, to highlight to Councillor Pretorius that the minor breaches are where supply chain processes are impractical. For instance, when you want to procure, for example, trophies for the Polokwane Marathon, I'm just giving an example, and you only have one trophy maker in Polokwane being Ag Printers. You just go to Ag Printers, source a quotation and pay Ag Printers because there are no other. You cannot go for an open tender. That it's only where supply chain processes are impractical. But I want to say perhaps to council that because the nature of this report requires further oversight to be exercised on, we refer the whole report to MPEC. MPEC in their own war room, they will deal with each minor breach and check on the merit and demerit of each, and MPEC will be able to report back to council, putting special emphasis because that here in council, the councillors of MPEC, the chairperson is here, putting special emphasis on what councillors have been able to raise. But in its nature, this report must be deferred to MPEC for further scrutiny. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. I see the hand of MMC Ngwe.
Afternoon, Speaker. Good afternoon, Executive Mayor and all the councillors. Speaker, I've been raising my hands on previous items. I'm happy that we have noted me now.
My apology, MMC.
On this one, on deviations, I think we agree that it must go to MPEC, but councillors must note that specifically for radio advertisement, because they must understand that we are having different advertisement, there are different audio targets. Because for example, we cannot go to Jacaranda FM and talk Sepedi there. So we are having different targets and we are complying because Section 36 of the supply chain regulation clearly supports what we are doing here. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor MMC. The report refers back to MPEC for further coordination. Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 17, interim tariff in respect of silicon smelters, stroke or dash 322704746, portion 3, account number 10992553. It's on page 594.
Thank you, Councillor Rutas. Councillor Rietas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Honorable Councillor.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I just want to refer to page 594, and I would like just to ask the following questions. Is from the silicon smelters wants to add an additional 8 megaliters on their pipeline. I would like to know from which water source are they going to get this water, and can the residents of Polokwane afford to lose 8 megaliters in an already challenging water situation in town? Thank you very much.
Honorable Councillor Ritas, Honorable MMC Mokamedi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to the Executive Mayor and Councillor present. In terms of the question that was raised, in terms of where are we going to get the source of water, it will be from Olifantspoort regional water scheme pipeline, and this is not going to affect the municipality at all. That's the first question that I heard. Maybe Honorable Councillor must repeat the second question because I was not audible on the mic. Can I hear, or can you repeat the second question?
Honorable Councillor Ritas.
I'm answered. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Ritas, and thank you, MMC Mokamedi.
Maybe Honorable Speaker, as this is an interim request from smelters, as smelters is not yet in full operation, then we are going to have a memorandum of understanding between us and them in terms of monitoring what will be happening about the water. So we will be with them agreeing on the memorandum of understanding, which will release and submit to them, as we held a meeting with them on Tuesday with the acting director. Then we agree. So there's no any implication in terms of this water that we're going to give to Silicon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MMC Mokamedi. Recommendation supported. Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we are moving to volume 8, item 23. Request to register a servitude of reminder of ERF 6861, extension 24 and 30 in favor of Limpopo Central Hospital entrance. It's on page 982.
Honorable Councillor Max.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on this item, if you can just bear with me, I just want to go to the correct page. Regarding the servitude, we need to comply with section 14 of the MFMA, and to do so, we need to know what is the value of this property, which was not furnished to us. If you look on page 984, the comments of legal also say that section 14 of the MFMA has been complied with. But if you actually read section 14, it says that before we as council can make a decision like this, we need to know what the value of this property is. Then secondly, we need to determine if it's going to be needed for basic services. And they did not give us any indication as to the value. They proposed that after we've made a decision, evaluators be appointed. But that is not in line with how we've done it previously. I would propose that this matter be referred back so that we can obtain the valuations and then make an informed decision. We're not specifically against the item, but obviously we want to comply with the Act. Normally, we receive the valuations just before mayoral committee from spatial planning. And I think this one slipped through the cracks without the valuation. So I propose that it just be referred back or be held over to the next council meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Max. Chief Whip, I see your hands is up. Is the old one or the new one?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, once again for this opportunity. Section 14 of the MFMA, as quoted by Councillor Max, speaks of the disposal of capital assets. Subsection 1 says a municipality may not. No, subsection 2. A municipality may transfer ownership or otherwise dispose of a capital asset other than one contemplated in subsection 1, but only after the municipal council in a meeting open to the public has decided on reasonable grounds that the asset is not needed to provide the minimum level of basic municipal services. And B, has considered the fair value market of the asset and the economic and community value to be received in exchange for the asset. In this situation, subsection B, I think it is what Councillor Max is speaking to. But you will recall that we are not expecting anything in exchange, whether monetary or whatever. So I think in this instance, because we've already donated land for the benefit of that particular department to erect a hospital, they just need that particular portion of land for us to donate to them. And a donation does not speak of a value in exchange to us. So I do not think the question of value becomes relevant in this instance because we are just donating without expecting a particular thing. The question of value raised by the MFMA will speak to us making a fair decision in terms of getting a fair consideration of what we are being selling. But in this instance, we are donating in exchange for nothing. So the question of value then becomes a little bit not so much important, unless perhaps I can be indulged further, Honorable Speaker, by other councillors. But this is, I think, this is the position or the intention of this particular report. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Honorable Councillor Max.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the Chief Whip is a good whip, but he's not a good lawyer, with all due respect. It's not about whether or not we give it away for free or not getting value or whatever the value is. The Act say today, open to the public, we must consider the value, what it is, what it not is. Then we can decide if we want to give it away free or we want to ask a market related. The fact remains is the Act say we must consider the value today. And I say it with respect to the Chief Whip, I'm not trying to be difficult. Unfortunately, although it's a good idea, etc., we can support the item and the idea behind the item. We need to follow the Act. We've said it earlier, and everyone was in agreement that we need to follow the Act or all the relevant legislation regarding local government. So on behalf of the DA, we do not support the item due to the fact that there's no valuations before the committee. Should we receive, the council, should we receive the valuations, then obviously we can apply our minds and we might support the item or we might not support the item. So from the DA's view, we are of the view that it's premature in this council. Thank you. If you can just record that accordingly.
Thank you, Councillor Max. Executive Mayor. Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And Honorable Chief Whip, as well as fellow councillors. I think we all agree that there are no actually differences. What we need to agree on is that let's take a resolution that allow the municipality to survey the land and do all the preparations towards disposing the land, including the issue of valuation, for the purpose of donating that particular servitude for the land that has been already donated towards the construction of the academic hospital. So I think, I'm not sure if maybe but council needs to give permission to the relevant department to start that particular process, and this item will then come back with all the necessary information, including the valuation or the value of the servitudes into the next council. And then we'll be able to take a decision based on that. But the process in terms of registering of the servitudes, surveying and other preparation related to that need to proceed. And in the next council, we'll have all the information that is required, including the value of the servitude, for us to then take a formal decision to donate that land as it is actually required. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. The item referred back for valuation. Next item, Secretariat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are on item 24. Request for council to allow the city and regional planning SBU to action condition 2 of the council resolution CR/113/01/19 with regards to the donation of a site for a primary and secondary school in Ladana, Emdo, Matasedi area, page 991.
Honorable Councillor Marx. Chief Whip, Executive Mayor. Oh, okay.
Chair, if you can give the Chief Whip and the EM a chance first. I just want to get to the page, please. If you can just bear with me for a few moments.
No, it's the old hand for Chief Whip and EM, I think.
I'm just struggling to open the page. It's page 991. I was on the wrong PDF document. My apologies. I don't want to waste your time.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Marx.
It's just want to get to the correct page. My apologies, Chair.
Okay.
I'm electronically slow. Chair, here the argument is the same as the previous item. The valuations were not I just wanted to confirm that. But again, although we're not against the item per se, we just need the valuations to make the informed decision, because it's exactly the same argument. So we are not against the item. We just ask at the next council meeting, please furnish us with the valuation, and then we can make a resolution or consider item. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Marx. Same principle applied to this one as the previous item. The item will be referred back for valuation. Secretary,
Chair, I can just mention, my apologies, Chair. There was a previous council item, and this is only to implement it. If there was a valuation at the previous one, then obviously we don't have to do it again. But I didn't see it in this document. So we can just maybe just check that and double check that, so that we don't waste cost to do evaluation again. I hope I'm clear on that point. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Max. Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think earlier on on item that we have just passed on the servitudes. I think I just want to check exactly your ruling on it, because we still as council need to give the relevant department the permission to start processing that, while the matter will still come back to us for final decision based on valuation, based on survey and many other issues related to preparation of that land for disposal. But we still need that permission for council for us to start the process.
Permission is granted, Executive Mayor. Next item, Secretariat.
Next item, Madam Speaker, we are moving to item 26. Request for approval to lease Itsuseng Entrepreneurial Center at number 177 Blauberg Street for incubation program to SMME, page 1083.
I see the hand of Honorable Councillor Chidi will be followed by Honorable Councillor Lawrence. In that order, please.
Right, thank you, Madam Speaker. My understanding was that the facility belonged to the municipality and the small, medium, micro enterprises paid rental to the municipality as stipulated on the report on page 1085 or 106 on the soft copy. This was for the purpose of generating revenue for the municipality from the rentals collected, but also in exchange assisting the SMMEs with premises as they are starting or startup businesses, like the one for Harosi sweet potato yogurt. So the municipality would then maintain the facilities to make it user-friendly to the occupants. My question now, Honorable Speaker, is that when we lease out this property, will the person or the company that leases this property from the municipality now take over the maintenance of that facility? Secondly, will these occupants currently be contracted to this particular person who's leasing out the facility from the municipality? And how will the municipality be making revenue from this particular leasing out, unless there's something that I'm missing in terms of the leasing out? Because primarily I thought we are leasing it out, but to individual SMMEs. But when you read the item, it looks like we are trying to now lease it out to one primary leasee, whom now these SMMEs will be leasing this facility from. So are we saying that the municipality is unable to maintain the facility that way? Is that why we are now bringing in a third party to come and lease the the facility from us and then lease it over to those SMMEs? The last question, Madam Speaker, is that the rental that we are currently collecting directly from the various SMMEs, when you compare that with the rental which the institution will now be collecting from the third party, which transaction stands to benefit the institution more? Because remember, even though we are assisting these SMMEs as startup businesses, we must still generate revenue as an institution. Let me pause there for now, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chidi. Councillor Lawrence. Councillor Max will follow in that order, please.
Madam Speaker, if someone can please unmute Councillor Lawrence, he's unable to speak.
Noted on Councillor Porter.
Thank you.
Councillor Lawrence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Am I audible?
Very audible.
On page 1093, according to the contract, there's a flat rate for the rent of R18.60 per square meter. And then, but on 1106, if you divide the rent by square meter size, at item 1, for example, you get the rent of R26.28. Then on page 1108, Annexure B, the rent is much higher. Now, it's important to receive enough money to be able to maintain the building continually to ensure the growth of the value of the asset. On page 1097, paragraph 14.1 determines a flat rate of R100 a month for water. Now, the provision of water is a crisis already in Polokwane. How are we going to prevent people to start, for example, car washes there when we rent it out to a third party or to sell water? Page 1099, paragraph 19.5 is really worrying. It says that if the buildings are damaged or are to be repaired, but still substantially tenable, then this agreement will not be terminated. We know the reality of not being able to enforce bylaws and contracts, for example, Freed Africa, and the agreement with regard to taxis and our Lieto buses. What are we going to do when people start to build shacks on the property? The municipality needs to keep firm control of this asset. The risk is far too much at this stage, Madam Speaker. We need to take our time with this decision and not just get rid of the management of the complex. I request that the item is referred back and that the proper risk assessment is done, focusing on the reality of being able to enforce, of not being able to enforce critical items in the contract, the rental revenue to maintain the buildings properly to ensure a growth in value, and lastly, revision of the contract to ensure protection of the value of the property. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Lawrence. Honorable Councillor Max.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, firstly, just a general remark. There's a lot of spelling errors and typos in this report. It doesn't create a good impression to our public. For example, center is in the same report spelled as center, C-E-N-T-E-R, and in the next line it is center as it should be spelled. Blauberg, for example, it's not Blauberg, it's actually Blau with a W, but anyway, that's a minor thing. We just need to get the quality of our reports must please be looked at. Chair, what concerns me here is that we also don't have the valuations, but I don't think we need to refer back this item. If you look on page 1083, I think we just need to proceed with number 2 to say that the intention to lease out the center be advertised for public comments or objection, and then when it comes back to council, after the advertisements, then they should submit a valuation as well. That is how we've done it in the previous term as well, that we don't approve it, we just say we have an intention to do A, B, and C, and then the evaluation reports come afterwards. And then maybe the mayor's suggestion to give instructions or his proposal in the other items must be the third recommendation, which will actually be the second recommendation. I hope I understand how I wanted to phrase it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Max. Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think let's relook into the due process in terms of the risk management. We are in principle agree, but there must be a process, including the issue of valuation of that particular property. But I think that the risk-related issues and certain responsibilities, clarity as to who is responsible for what, so that by the time the lease agreement is completed, the property remain intact with the right value that it should be for the municipality, and also the issue of the enforcement of those conditions that are set. The aim, of course, is to empower SMMEs so that one day they could be fully fledged businesses that are on their own, having their own buildings. But I think let's just do that process in order for us to ensure that the interest of the municipality with regard to that particular facility is also being protected. Thank you very much.
Executive Mayor, are you proposing that the item be referred back?
Yeah. Remember, we have already taken a principled decision in terms of valuations. So my request is that let's get to the evaluation. While we're doing evaluation, we also deal with the risk management, risk factors and so forth. So this item will still come back. In principle, we are agreeing, but we'll only take the final decisions once all those other issues have been addressed. So this item need to be referred back.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. The item referred back. Next item, Secretariat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are moving to volume 9, item 28. Polokwane Municipality establishment of Ward Committee for 2021 to 2026 terms of office on page 1144.
Thank you, Secretariat. On this item, I have acknowledged the errors in the report. The names of elected persons will be aligned to the correct words. And I see the hand of Honorable Councillor Marx, and you'll be followed by Honorable Councillor Buota. Honorable Councillor Mamabulo, also in that order, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I think we have some great issues on this item. You would recall when we adopted the Ward Committee bylaw, I've tried to make various inputs where I've tried to explain to this Honourable House that we're going to have practical issues. And if you recall, the chief were adamant that legal has advised us that there will not be any issues. And it's sad to say, I've told you so. Because the problem is we can still not proceed. Because the things that we've set in the bylaw, which the DA voted against, the amendments, cannot be implemented. For example, one of the items that was included in the bylaw was a requirement that each ward committee member must be able to read and write. It's a simple example. What test did our municipality do to confirm that each and every ward committee member can read and write? That is on page 1165, number 6.9. A person that is eligible to vote must be able to read and write. So there must be some sort of test that they had to do in order to finalize it. Exactly the same with all the other requirements. And that has not been met up to date hereof. So I'm not sure how the municipality intend to resolve this issue. You would recall we had a sort of a whoopee meeting in your office or at the new council chambers in the boardroom. And I've raised this exact issue. And we were promised by the municipality administration it will not be an issue. Yet here we are. So Speaker, I'm not sure how you want to deal with it. We can't accept this because still there's no test to show that the ward committee members that was ostensibly elected has complied with our bylaw. So my proposal is that it be referred back until there's compliance with the bylaw. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Botha. Councillor Max, Councillor Botha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you. If we look at the ward committee policy and we look at page 6, item 5.1b, wards with more than 10 villages may elect not more than 13 ward committee members. This is not in line with the Local Government Municipal Structures Act 117 of 1998. According to the Local Government Municipal Structures Act 117 of 1998, Section 73 2b, not more than 10 persons. My first question, what constituted Polokwane Council to deviate from the legislation to elect more than 10 other members in selected wards? B, did Polokwane Municipality request permission from the MEC responsible for local government in the province in writing? If it was communicated in writing, can we please get evidence of this communication? Referring to page 6 of item 5.3, gender equity may be pursued by ensuring that there is even representation of men and women in a ward committee. Was gender equity maintained in election of ward committees? And if so, may we request report thereof? Referring to page 6 of item 5.4, a ward councillor may delegate in writing the chairing of a meeting to a PR councillor in his or her absence. Is it the responsibility of the ward councillor to delegate a PR councillor? And if not, whose responsibility is it, and will a PR councillor be delegated to a ward? Referring to page 7, item 6.1, in order to participate and be elected as a member of a ward committee, a person must be a registered voter in the ward and reside within a particular village, zone or area where elections are conducted. Was this process followed for each ward committee election? How was this process followed at each ward committee election? And can we get the evidence of the processes followed? Referring to page 7, item 6.2, a voter's roll shall be utilized to manage the election process. Were the voters' roll present and was it followed? If so, we need proof of this utilized voters' roll, please. Referring to page 7, item 6.4, a person is not eligible for election if he or she is employed by Polokwane Municipality or Capricorn District Municipality. Was this followed and were the necessary checks done? And if so, kindly provide evidence thereof. Referring to page 7, item 6.5, a member of the National Assembly, the National Council of Provinces or a provincial legislature cannot be elected. Was this followed and were the necessary checks done? Referring to page 7, item 6.5, no person whose municipal services account for rates and services is in arrears for more than 3 months shall be eligible for election as member of a ward committee. Was this followed and were the necessary checks done? Referring to page 7, item 6.7, a person who wishes to be elected to the ward committee shall not be unrehabilitated insolvent. Was this followed and were the necessary checks done? Referring to page 7, item 6.8, anyone who has been convicted of an offence and sentenced to imprisonment without the option of a fine and persons of unsound mind who have been declared so by a competent court cannot be elected. Was this process followed and the necessary checks done? Item 6.9, a person that is eligible to be voted as ward committee member must be able to read and write. Councillor Marx also emphasized that situation. Referring to page 8, item 7.11b, only residents who are registered voters may vote at the meeting. Was this followed and were the necessary checks done? Referring to page 8, item 7.111d, A nomination form is completed to nominate candidates 2 weeks before the proposed elections, and verification is done to comply with all the qualification criteria. Was this followed, and were the necessary
Honorable
checks done?
Councillor Botha. Honorable
Madam
Councillor
Speaker.
Botha. Are you reading the question that you sent to my office?
It's
Under the
questions that I'm
report of the
looking for
establishment
answers.
of what committee? Are you reading them?
Yes, Madam Speaker, we are on the election of ward committee members, and that is part of the information that I'm looking for, Madam Speaker. I think we as council should be accountable.
I'm just asking if they are the questions you are asking are the same one with that one you sent to my office.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
The questions you are asking are the same with that one you sent the questions to my office.
Yes,
For
Madam
clarity
Speaker.
seeking questions
It's clarity seeking questions, Madam Speaker.
are the same.
Yes, Madam Speaker, they are clarity seeking questions.
Are you finished?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Botha. I see the hand of MMC Mamabulo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We are faced with a situation as a municipality where we have been referring this particular report back, and it comes back to council with a lot of changes where we see that a lot of work has been done, Honorable Speaker. But in the main, it is our people who are suffering on the ground. It is the people who are all leading as members of council who are suffering from lack of service delivery, mainly because we are not having ward committees in place. Honorable Speaker, I am standing here to actually say, let us proceed with wards that have been cleared, because really we are not able now to move forward as the municipality to deliver services as we are required to our communities. This matter has been long overdue, and you have acknowledged, Honorable Speaker, that there are some errors and there are still problems. But with that being said, I'm just proposing to the Honorable Council that let's move with words that are correct, that all checks were done or proper checks were done, and actually adopt this report, because every day we are finding a loophole in or people are trying to find, honorable members are trying to find every other loophole. They have rejected the report, the policy, and we have adopted the very same policy which they are now discussing. We are now discussing, but after that particular report, we are now saying, Honorable Speaker, we need to deliver services to our people. That is our core mandate as council, and we cannot do that in the absence of the existing ward committee structures. Let us rather deal with the fact that we need ward committees as soon as possible, because it has been long overdue. We have about 7 or 8 months in council without ward committees. So we need to be active, and we need to be seen taking action towards ensuring that all wards where ward committees are cleared not to have criminal records and all those other ills, we proceed and make them official or formalize their being as ward committees, Honorable Speaker, because we can't have this situation forever. We can't be a municipality that rejects to work with what committees that were elected by a majority of the people in their respective wards. These people were elected and they've long been waiting for an opportunity to serve. So we must allow that platform for those people who were elected by the majority of the people in their respective wards to serve. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor MMC Mamabulo. I see the head of Chief Whip and Honorable MMC Mugamedi, MMC Mashalani, and Councillor Matonsi. The Executive Mayor will be the last two to speak to this item.
Yeah, thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I see you have noted a number of hands that will speak after myself, but however, my proposal might tempt you to limit those number of hands and entertain the proposal. Honorable Speaker, number one, I'm going to suggest that you divide the House. On this particular basis, one, we have had many meetings trying to fine-tune this particular report. Meetings with various political parties represented in council. Not one meeting. The meeting that Councillor Max is quoting is just one amongst many. Of the last meeting that we held with the various political parties was yesterday, where we have agreed that we are only going to approve those who were found not to have criminal records and set aside the appointment of those who were found to have criminal records, where we are still going to investigate whether they were satisfying the conditions of the bylaw in terms of the nature of their sentencing. And that is where we were, but I understand also respecting various political parties, caucuses, they might come to council with different views. But I'm of the view that participatory democracy is being compromised by us as Polokwane failing to approve this particular report. We cannot now discuss the Structures Act. We must discuss our bylaw. The bylaw that have been approved in council, and we must stick to what we have approved. If perhaps in the next instance we need to come and review our bylaw, we will. But for now, we are at a process where we have the elected persons on the ground. We need to approve that they start working and receive their stipend and assist ward councillors in terms of providing services to our people. So that is the condition that I propose, Honorable Speaker, before we can take even any further hands.
On a point of order, Speaker.
That we divide the House on
a
this
point
matter.
of order, Speaker.
What is the point
Honorable
of order?
Speaker, thank you very much.
On a point of order, Speaker, the House cannot be divided and go over to voting while there's still questions to be asked on this item. There was written questions submitted to your office, which is still outstanding, and those issues got legal implications, as Councillor Botha has indicated, that will affect all of us as councillors. If our bylaw is against or irregular, then we will all be liable if the matter go to court. So we need the answers from the executive mayor as to, and yourself as to why the written questions has not been answered.
Councillor Max?
Yes, Speaker.
You can say the Honorable Councillor may not speak of the division of the House while he's proposing.
Well, Chair, if you look at the rules, it says it's only when there's an objection against the item, then you must go to voting. So far, we haven't said that we are against the item. We've asked clarity-seeking questions in a written question, as well as now verbally in this meeting. We only want answers on the question. Then we can decide if we agree with the item or not.
Sorry. Noted, Honorable Councillor Max.
Thank you, Speaker.
Noted. Thank you. MMC Mugamedi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for giving direction. I was just to align myself with what Chief Whip was saying. in terms of the bylaw which was passed by us as a council. That's the first point. Then the second point, Speaker, I'm worried about the length of speeches, because in terms of the rules of order, it's stated clearly to say that we need not to speak more than 3 minutes on any subject or matter. But if you listen, it has started with Councillor Buota and it escalated one by one. So I'm thinking that we need to go to the rules of order, item number 7.1.5, in terms of the length of speaking, provided it's you that is authorizing that to us to speak more than 3 minutes speak. I submit.
Noted, MMC. Honorable Councillor Matonzi.
And good afternoon to you. Speaker, I think this item under discussion currently is long overdue, that we should move on with the implementation of what committees, especially those who are in good standing, those who do not have issues. Our people are suffering with service delivery down there. Basically, I'm agreeing with the proposal as made by the Chief Whip, that we should continue, if need be, to divide the house, because this particular item is long overdue. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Matonzi. I see the hand of Councillor Shibabu.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the session, and once again, greetings to the council. Speaker, I think some of the questions are just for delaying purposes. In the last meetings, when we brought the report to council, it was on 2 items: the issue of those who are owing the municipality and the issue of making sure that the what committees are screened in terms of the bylaw. Now all those are done. We are bringing the report. There's a question of attendance register and other things. As Speaker, I'm in support to say we need to ensure that this process goes through, because our communities are waiting for services, and indeed there's nothing. If there's a councillor who feels as if something did not go right, I think there is a procedure that has been presented there to say if there is a dispute, that's the process to follow. And as in for what councillors, for an example, we had all ample time to then deal with any logistics matters if we're feeling as if things are not done correct, than to allow this process to run to this far and then we raise issues of logistics. I think Council Speaker, you must make a ruling on the matter to say this recommendation must be adopted for service delivery purposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Shibabu. I see the hand of Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Greetings once again to you and fellow councillors. I think there are issues within the formation of the ward committees, and we may need to really look into those issues related to compliance issues. I'm going to propose that, because if you look at the Structures Act, it is talking about may, not shall. We must also look into the interpretation of that in terms of the 10% of councillors. So I'm of the view that we are not necessarily differing in terms of a need for these ward committees to be functional. I'm going to propose that we go through, we actually approve the formation of the ward committee And on implementation of such, we will depend on the positive legal opinion on whether we should proceed or not, because I'm worried about us or our ward councillors who are continuing to work on the ground alone. Probably some of those people are now just volunteering. So within 7 days, let's have a legal opinion. If it is positive or negative, we will convene all political parties in council to chart a way forward. But in principle, we approve this report. And on implementation, it will depend on that particular legal opinion, but also on other issues of compliance that have been raised, because I do not want to raise my concern about processes within those who are responsible for council support, because the issues that have been raised, for example, by Councillor Buota, it's not for the first time that we raise. Why do you bring then the report that does not answer to issues, long-standing issues that you know very well that have been raised? Why can't you answer those issues even before you go to a portfolio committee, before you go to a mayoral committee, and so forth? Because if I listen to councillors' issues that they are raising, there are issues that have been raised. So that is why I'm saying let's approve in principle. Yes, we need those ward committees to to function, but before they function, let's on implementation have the legal opinion and also that consultative meeting, so that we can then report back to council. If the legal opinion, whether the legal opinion is negative or positive, the report should still serve in council, in the next council, on the implementation of the rollout of ward committees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Council considered the report, the recommendation, and the recommendation are approved.
Madam point Speaker. Of order, Chair.
My hand was up as well.
Chair, may I just intervene on a point of order? I don't think the item was approved because they are different of opinion. Chair, I can align myself with what the Executive Mayor has said. I think you realize that there might be some legal implications. I need to place it on record that DA is not against the item. I would propose that we postpone this item and then re-adjourn. If you may just allow me, Speaker, to just finish, please. I want to be proactive and productive. I'm also a ward councillor. I also want ward committee members. Can we have a special meeting to discuss this in a week's time? I agree with the mayor. Can we just get a legal opinion? We can even have it discussed at the Whippery. There is some legal issues. We don't want to appoint or approve something that's going to be taken to court and going to be overruled. We as the DA want to support this item. That we want to make clear. But we don't want to vote for something that may be illegal. And the mayor is 100% correct. Let's get the legal opinion. 7 days is not going to hurt anybody. And then we have a special council meeting. That is our plea to you, Speaker. Thank you.
On a point of order, Speaker.
What is the point of order, MMC Mamabulo?
Honorable Speaker, you have made a ruling on this matter. And I'm surprised that we are still discussing a matter on which we have already made.
MMC.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. See the hand of Councillor Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Speaker, once again. And let me appreciate the corrections and the advice that we are getting in council. Honorable Speaker, if you had listened very well to the Executive Mayor, he was saying that let us approve the recommendation with a special condition that we approve for the establishment of the ward committees but before they can come into operation, we seek a legal opinion. That if it comes out positive, administration can be led to continue with the induction of ward committees for operation. If the legal opinion comes negative, then we then come to council, and if needs be, redo the bylaw. I don't know if Councillor Marx is agreeing in line with that, or is saying that we should pack the report altogether. But I had thought that we go in line with what the executive mayor has said, with that special particular condition, so that we do not have to come to council if we are found not to be on the round side of the law. That is what I was trying to raise, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Recommendation are approved with the view that we must get the legal opinion.
Madam Speaker,
Item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, this is a follow-up question.
I've
My hand is up as well for a long time, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, not
we are on item 29.
Madam Speaker, not one of my questions was answered. I already submitted this document on the 29th of March. It's 4 months. Executive Mayor, no one did anything about this. 4 months.
If the written questions was answered during April, we would have sorted this problem out during April already. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I didn't give you permission, Councillor Lawrence, to speak. Honorable Councillor Botha, may you come again, please?
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. This written questions was already submitted on the 28th of March. It's 4 months that I'm waiting for this information. 4 months, Executive Mayor. It's not that I decided today to be difficult. I already asked on the 28th of March in a written question for this information. I feel it is unfair from the Executive Mayor to throw punches, which is not
Honorable
very
Councillor
nice.
Botha, I've noted your concern, and I know that it's long overdue.
At the end of the day, we are just asking for the permission letter from the MEC from Kokta, where it was approved that we can have more than 10 ward committee members. Then we know we are in this legislation correct, and we are compliant.
Councillor Botha, call me. Bye.
You're out of order, Councillor Lawrence. Thank you, Honorable Councillor Botha. This item will be postponed for 7 days to get the legal opinion, and so next item, Secretariat. Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, you were breaking. Can you repeat your resolution?
I said the item will be postponed for 7 days for us to get the legal opinion. And after that, we'll convene a special meeting to deal with this item. Thank you.
It's noted, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Next item.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 29. MPEG Annual Work Program 2022/2023. It leads us to page 1280.
Thank you, Secretary. And I'm asking all councillors to lower their hands. If not, it's not the new one. May you please lower. Next item, Secretariat.
Item 30, MPEG fourth quarter operational report for financial year 2021-2022. It's on page 1289.
I see the hand of Honorable Councillor Lube.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, you remember in the first item when Mr. Ngubeni from APAC was there, I mentioned the question, or I asked a question. And it's basically in this report is what the item is really going to be about, because we haven't complied with legislation by handing in that report, that institutional report of institutional performance report in time. So what are we saying about that? What is impact saying about it? Because obviously they have to go to impact for them to give us direction. But clearly the AG is going to pick it up and nail us on this one and we want a clean audit. So please, you can just send this to impact to scrutinize it properly and tell us why it's late. Just give us an answer why it's late. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson MPEG.
Yes, thank you very much, Speaker. We are busy with the report as it is. We have already sent a set of questions to the acting municipal manager. We'll come back with the necessary recommendation in our next council meeting. Speaker, am I audible?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we move to addendum. Item 33. Report on the term of office of the Community Safety Forum, which is CSF. It's on page 1319.
Next item.
Madam Speaker, we are on the last item, report of the Speaker. Item 34, appointment of external experts to serve on the Polokwane Local Geographic Names Committee for the current term of council of financial year 2021-2026. It's on page 1322.
Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, as I was saying, it was the last item of the day. We are now moving to announcements. From Secretariat, we don't have any announcement.
Thank you very much, Secretariat. The announcement I have here is that our next council will be physical. Next item, Secretariat.
Thanks once more, Madam Speaker. We are in the item of 12, which is closure.
Thank you, Secretariat. The meeting is officially adjourned.
Bye, Madam Speaker.
Thanks, comrade. Implication ya tsona e ba ya go consulta ke a ke re kule chief purile ba ba yo consulta ba kry-a